Welcome to Mind Set in Stone podcasts, where we dive deep into the most compelling books on the shelf. Join hosts Dave and Poppy as they uncover the stories, themes, and ideas that shape our understanding and inspire curiosity. Get ready to explore the big ideas that leave a lasting impact. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Mindset in Stone podcast. Today we are doing a real deep dive. We've got a fantastic stack of source material research, personal stories, and some really profound philosophy.
We do.
And we're going to be jumping into a concept that I think is, well, it's truly influential, the power of intention. Specifically, we're looking at how we can learn to consciously co-create our world, not by forcing things, but by tuning into a kind of universal frequency.
And that's a crucial mission for this deep dive, because our sources, which are largely drawn from the work of Dr. Wayne Dyer, they frame intention in a very specific way.
Right. It's not just a wish, is it?
Not at all. It's not a simple goal you write down on a piece of paper. We are here to understand intention as a universal and omnipresent force.
An invisible field of energy that literally connects everything.
Exactly.
So just to be clear for everyone listening, we are absolutely not talking about human willpower here.
No, this is much bigger. We're discussing the intelligent energy that creates galaxies, that grows a flower.
So the core definition, what are we working with?
The sources define it as an immeasurable, almost indescribable force, a field of energy that flows invisibly.
Okay. So it's potential.
It is infinite potential. It's the source material that sets in motion everything we experience, our physical body, our emotions, our thoughts, our entire disposition.
I love how the source material puts it, that we are formed out of the omnipresent, this thing that's everywhere, to become present in our own time and space.
We are, in a very real sense, localized bits of that infinite potential.
And that is what's so exciting about this for you, the listener. The idea that this infinite potential it's accessible to you right now.
It is.
But that raises the big question. If we are literally fragments of this omnipresent creative force, why is it so hard sometimes? Why are we so often blocked from manifesting our deepest desires?
Well, the answer to that is the primary roadblock, the one thing that interrupts this cosmic current, and that is the ego. It's our learned sense of self that defines us based on limitation and separation, and it actively deactivates the power of intention.
Why?
Because they vibrate at radically different speeds. They are fundamentally incompatible.
Okay, so let's really unpack this ego concept because I think it deserves some detail. The sources outline 6 primary beliefs, or you could call them mental anchors, that the ego uses to define us.
And these anchors keep us utterly disconnected from the abundance that is intention.
So what are they?
These are so critical to understand. The first 3 are all focused on external validation. They lock us into a state of attachment.
Okay.
Number 1 is, I am what I have.
My car, my house, my bank account.
Precisely. Number 2 is, I am what I do, my job title. And the third is, I am what others think of me, my reputation.
So if your self-worth is tied to any of those things, your stock portfolio, your title, what people say about you online, you're operating from a place of chronic anxiety, aren't you?
You are. A deep fear of loss, and that energy, that fear, it just fundamentally clashes with the infinite peace of intention.
I think that first one, I am what I have, is just so challenging in modern culture. It's not even about having nice things, it's the attachment to them.
That's the key. It's the attachment. Liking your home is just healthy appreciation.
But if losing that home would make your entire identity shatter,
then that's the ego defining you by a possession. And as you said, it's a very, very low frequency state.
because it implies scarcity.
Immediately, it says, if I lose this, I am less. And that directly contradicts the endlessly abundant nature of the universe.
Okay, so those are the first 3. What about the others?
The remaining 3 ego beliefs are what define our state of separateness. And this might be the most crucial disconnection of all.
The isolation beliefs.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. They are, I am separate from everyone.
So competition, loneliness.
Right. Then I am separate from what is missing in my life. This is the state of perpetual wanting. I am separate from God, or source, or the universe, whatever word you use. This is the belief in fundamental unworthiness. The ego convinces us we're these solitary, disconnected little entities fighting each other for scraps.
And if we're clinging to even just one of those 6 beliefs, we're basically putting up a wall. We're generating resistance.
Huge resistance. We're living in a low energy state. Fear, judgment, anxiety, and intention, which is the highest energy of creation, simply cannot be accessed through that ego mindset.
It's a profound vibrational mismatch.
It is, and it really forces us to think about where intention actually resides. You know, many researchers suggest that our highest intelligence, our greatest creativity, it doesn't just live inside our physical skull.
Right, it interacts with this omnipresent energy field.
Exactly.
This reminds me so much of the physicist David Bohm's work. He was a protege of Einstein. And Bohm suggested that all of this ordering influence, all this information, is present in what he called an invisible domain, a higher non-local reality that underpins our whole world.
Absolutely. And, you know, this isn't just theory anymore. The research from people like Lynn McTaggart, which our sources touch on, supports the existence of a higher, faster energy dimension.
This field of intention.
This field of intention. And the point is, everyone can physically and tangibly tap into it. It is infinite. It is everywhere. And it is the mechanism by which creation organizes itself.
Okay, so let's try to move past the rational brain's need to, measure and quantify this. Let's get into what the source calls silent knowing, because this is where we shift from just thinking about intention to actually experiencing it.
And silent knowing it's a quiet, powerful awareness. It's a deep feeling that completely bypasses the need for scientific evidence or linear logic.
The mind is just too noisy for it.
Full of doubt and analysis, it can't hear it.
And to illustrate this, the source shares that incredibly poignant anecdote from Maui.
Oh, this story is so powerful.
About the woman being pulled lifeless from the surf and CPR being administered.
Yes. And the observer who's watching this whole scene unfold, they experience this profound, quiet awareness. They see the woman's spirit just sort of hovering above her body.
And it wasn't scary.
Not at all. There was this instantaneous, inexplicable feeling of peaceful energy. A silent knowledge that her departure was part of a perfect divine order. It wasn't a philosophical thought. It was an undeniable, unreasoned truth.
What really stands out to me in that story is that the knowledge was comforting. It was immediate. And it was totally non-judgmental. It just bypassed all five senses.
It did.
It suggests there's a part of us that already has this total mastery, but we've literally trained ourselves not to listen to it.
Precisely. Castaneda had a beautiful way of putting it. He called this silent knowledge something that all of us have, which has complete mastery of everything, but, and this is the critical part, it cannot think, therefore it cannot speak of what it knows.
That's the trap, isn't it? So how do we start to access that powerful, quiet space again? Because just telling your rational mind to be quiet usually has the opposite effect.
It just makes it louder, right? So the very first step is acknowledging that forcing it is completely futile.
It's not a struggle.
No, intention is accessed through allowing. You have to consciously banish doubt and just intentionally trust those fleeting intuitive feelings, the whispers. That's what clears the mental space.
And there's a fantastic visualization for this, for letting go. It's the trolley strap concept. I find this one so relatable.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? It's rooted in that childhood memory of being on an old streetcar.
And those high handles that only the grown-ups could reach.
Exactly. When you were little, you couldn't grab them, so you had no choice but to trust the vehicle to take you where you needed to go.
So the practice is to imagine reaching up to those high, safe handles, the guidance of intention, and just feeling secure, trusting that circumstances will guide you along your path.
It's such a shift in feeling, from forceful striving, which is the ego trying to steer the trolley, to just trusting the flow.
It's accepting guidance, which is inherently restful, instead of forcing a specific outcome.
It is. And practically speaking, when you feel that familiar pull of anxiety or stress trying to grab the wheel, you can just silently repeat the word intent or intention.
Like a mantra.
Like a vibrational reminder that your spirit, the creative force, is silently blissful and peaceful. It instantly pulls your energy back to that higher resonance.
It's like a mental reset button. And this whole quest for mental emptiness, it brings us to that famous instruction from J. Krishnamurti.
To be empty, completely empty, is absolutely essential for the mind to be unoccupied.
And that stillness, it's not an absence of something. It's the space where intention flows in.
That emptiness is where genius and silent knowing naturally emerge. But to connect consistently, we need to know the nature of the source we're trying to match.
Right. What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Intention, this universal source of creation, isn't just a static blob of energy. It has 7 core attributes, or what the sources call faces.
And to access intention, our job is to align our own energy with these 7 faces.
That's the entire game.
This is the operational roadmap. So let's walk through the first 4 attributes. These seem to define the quality of creation. First up, creativity.
Creativity is just an irrefutable truth. Intention's sole purpose is to bring life and form and expansion into existence. It's always creating.
So if creation is always expanding and expressing itself, we have to trust our own unique purpose in that.
We do, and the misalignment happens when we feel pressured to be productive in a way that just quashes our authentic creative expression.
You know, I think a lot of people mistake creativity for just being artistic, like painting or writing.
That's a common misconception.
But in this context, it means trusting the spontaneous, unique solutions that can arise in any field: engineering, parenting, even managing a budget.
If you squash that unique insight, you're squashing the creative face of intention in you, and that denial weakens your entire intentional field.
Okay, so that's creativity. What's next?
Next is kindness, and this is almost proven by the negative. If intention desired unkindness, the universe would have destroyed itself by now.
So it's self-evident.
It is. Therefore, any unkind thought judgment, resentment, malice, it immediately blocks this face.
And the effects of kindness, they're so much more than just, spiritual well-being. The sources highlight some fascinating science here.
This is incredible. Research has rigorously proven that kindness, whether you're the one extending it, the one receiving it, or even if you just observe it, it physically improves the immune system. And it stimulates serotonin production in everyone involved.
So it's not just a nice idea. It's scientific evidence that kindness is literally a state of vibrational matching that benefits everyone.
It's a biological imperative for connection.
Okay, the third phase is love. And this is the prime moving power of the universal spirit.
And we need to think beyond just romantic love. This is about a non-judgmental acceptance of what is.
So if you're operating from fear or anger or chronic judgment,
you are out of sync. If you aren't doing what you genuinely love and loving what you currently do, even if it's not your ideal job, your intention is weakened. It attracts friction and dissatisfaction.
And we have to actively convert that friction using the energy of love. Just like St. Francis sought to sow love where there was hatred. This face, though, it presents a challenge for a lot of people listening. We often justify our judgment as necessary. It's self-protection, right?
Of course.
So how do you move past that protective cynicism to genuinely vibrate at the frequency of love when you're dealing with really difficult people?
The intention-based approach is to understand that the difficult person is also a divine expression. They're just currently blocked by their own ego.
So it's not about approving of their behavior.
Not at all. It's about releasing the energy of hatred or judgment that you are holding toward them. That release is what frees your energy to match the universal frequency of love.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving to the fourth phase, beauty. A creative, kind, loving power must inherently manifest as beautiful.
Right. Beautiful thoughts build a beautiful soul. They attract beauty into your life. But this doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing where you put your focus.
And the example for this it's just remarkable. Viktor Frankl, imprisoned in the Nazi concentration camps.
An environment literally designed to obliterate all hope and beauty.
Exactly. And yet, Frankl trained himself to find a sliver of internal freedom by actively choosing to see beauty.
He described focusing intently on a single, tiny corner of existence, the colors reflected in a bowl of filthy water with a fish head floating in it.
He willed himself to see the structure and geometry, the fleeting beauty of light refraction in that filth.
That is a profound intentional shift. He was choosing his internal state of alignment when the external reality was unbearable.
So by expecting and seeking beauty, even in the most horrifying circumstances, he connected to the frequency of intention.
And that practice gave his life meaning. It was a vital factor in his survival. When we focus on ugliness or lack, we just attract more of it. Beauty is an active choice.
Okay, so those first four phases, creativity, kindness, love, and beauty, they establish the sort of ethical and emotional quality we have to embody.
That's right.
Now let's look at the remaining three, which seem to define limitless possibility. Fifth is ever-expanding.
Yes. Intention is perpetually increasing its expression. The universe is not static. It's always dynamic, always growing. So we match this state by choosing continuous growth, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually.
So if you're stuck in old ways of thinking, if you're attached to who you were 10 years ago, or you're just perpetually reviewing past mistakes,
you are actively resisting expansion. That friction drains your energy.
the moment you declare, I'm open to learning something new today, or I'm willing to evolve past this old emotional pattern, back in the flow.
You are resonating with the universe's natural expansionary state.
The sixth phase is endlessly abundant. This is maybe the easiest one to understand intellectually, but the hardest to actually practice.
Because scarcity is purely an ego-based belief. The cosmos itself is without end. There's no wall-limiting potential.
Abundance isn't a quota you have to fill.
No, it's a state of being. Any thought that says, I can't afford that, or there isn't enough success to go around, is a scarcity mindset and a mismatch with intention.
So how do listeners genuinely move past the daily reality of bills and debt and all these economic constraints to access that feeling of limitless abundance? It's hard to feel abundant when your bank account says something else.
You have to silently know and proceed to live with the awareness that you emerged from a consciousness that is unlimited.
So it's a practice.
It's a daily practice, practicing gratitude for what is present, the oxygen you're breathing, your health, a relationship that shifts your focus from what's lacking. You have to remind yourself, I did not emerge from a wall of scarcity. I emerged from the boundless void.
Okay, and finally, the seventh phase is receptive. This is all about allowing.
Intention is receptive to all who remain in harmony with it. Where we often fail is we try to micromanage the how.
How will I get the promotion? How will I meet the right person?
We try to force the path, but the role of a connector is so much simpler.
What is it?
Your job is not to ask how things will manifest. It's simply to state, yes, I'm willing.
That's it.
That's removing the resistance. Willingness allows the flow of guidance and healing and synchronicity and opportunities to come to you through paths you never could have logically predicted. To be unreceptive is to deny yourself access.
This theory is so profound. But now we have to move into the application. How do we turn this knowledge of the seven faces into active daily manifestation? We need some actionable takeaways, starting with confronting that biggest obstacle, self-importance.
Yes, the ego's will-chasing things, proving itself, it just clashes with the imagination, which is the spirit within. So we have to address these critical obstacles: limiting thoughts, low energy, and especially self-importance.
So, takeaway number 1. Implement rule number 6 to live stress-free. This is one of the most immediate energy shifters I've ever heard of.
It's a wonderful, memorable principle. The story behind it involves a politician dealing with a hysterical man. And when he was asked how he calmed down so fast, the politician just pointed to a sign on his wall that read, Rule number 6.
And when he was asked about the other rules,
He replied, there are no other rules. The only rule is, don't take yourself so goddamn seriously.
all stressful thoughts. I shouldn't have to wait in this line. This inconvenience is an affront to me. Why aren't my expectations being met? They're all generated by the ego's self-importance.
The stress isn't the event. It's the thought that you are too important to experience the event. Invoking rule number 6 just forces the ego to deflate. It eliminates the stressful thought and reconnects you instantly to tranquility.
Okay, that's a great one. Takeaway number 2. Shift your inner dialogue via the match game. This is about rigorously monitoring that internal chatter.
You have to become a vigilant editor of your inner life. When you catch a low-energy, fear-based, no-match statement, something like, I just don't have enough energy to get through this week, you must immediately replace it
With a high-energy match intention. For example, instead of focusing on physical self-criticism, where the ego says, I'm not as attractive as I'd like to be, you affirm the actual truth of your existence.
which is, I'm perfect in the eyes of God, a divine manifestation of creation.
It's not just positive thinking, is it? It's vibrational discipline.
It is. You are consciously choosing to operate at the frequency of intention. When you affirm that you are part of the ebb and flow of the limitless source of all life, you immediately raise your energetic frequency, and you start inviting opportunities that match that higher state.
Okay, number 3. Takeaway 3. Utilize your feelings as a guidance system for abundance. This is the art of allowing.
Yes, stop coming from a place of wanting, because wanting, by its very nature, implies scarcity.
Resistance. All those thoughts of impossibility, unworthiness, or doubt, that's the only thing that inhibits the flow.
So you must cease saying, I want to be successful, and instead become success itself. Embody it. I am success. I am abundance.
And this gives us a real-time feedback loop. How do we know if we're aligned or if we're resisting?
Your feelings tell you everything. Positive emotions, passion, bliss, ease, those are your indicators that you are summoning divine energy without resistance.
And negative emotions.
Anxiety, jealousy, frustration, they're just signal flags. They're telling you that you are in disharmony, you're resisting the natural flow. Treat your negative feelings as nothing more than a GPS signal saying recalculating.
I love that. Okay. Takeaway number 4. Practice radical kindness and give anonymously. This feels like maybe the most selfless pathway to aligning with the 7 faces.
It is, and the benefits are self-fulfilling, as we mentioned with the serotonin boost. But the real power of giving anonymously is that it completely bypasses the ego's need for recognition and reward.
So your action is purely aligned with the principle of universal kindness.
That's it.
And to illustrate the sheer magnitude of intentional giving, we have to talk about the story of Shia and the 18 baseball boys. Just an unforgettable moment of collective intention.
This was a little league game in Brooklyn. The team was losing badly. Shia, a boy who was learning disabled, was put into the game.
Ninth inning, bases loaded, the winning run is on base. And everyone knows Shia can't hit.
He steps up to the plate, and the pitcher makes a deliberate, intentional choice. He lobbed the ball softly. Shia swung and hit the slow grounder right back to the pitcher. The game should have been over right there.
But it wasn't.
The pitcher, instead of ending it, intentionally threw the ball high over the first baseman's head, out into the field.
And every boy in the field understood the silent signal.
Every single one. They all started yelling, "Run to first!" The right fielder picks up the ball and throws it high over the third baseman's head. And Shia, guided by this collective selfless intention of 18 other boys, runs all the bases and reaches home plate.
He was lifted up as the hero. He hit a grand slam to win the game. And Shia's father, just overwhelmed, said, those 18 boys reached their level of God's perfection.
That coordinated, selfless act is the definition of collective intention. It shows that when you focus on allowing a miracle for someone else, the energy generated is magnetic.
Truly incredible. Okay, takeaway number 5. Cultivate holy relationships. This is about applying that non-judgmental love to every single encounter. The challenge here is practicality. How do you treat a rude waiter, a difficult supervisor, a demanding family member as a holy relationship?
By viewing them as a complete divine expression of intention, regardless of their current behavior. And this is key, wanting nothing from them.
No need for validation or an apology or a specific action from them.
You just offer empathy.
The anecdote of the airline passenger agent is the perfect case study for this. The host had too many boxes, and the agent was determined, based on strict policy, not to check them.
But the host shifted the entire dynamic. Instead of arguing or demanding, the host expressed genuine, non-judgmental kindness, acknowledged how difficult the agent's job must be.
By treating the agent as an ally, a complete person, a holy relationship, the energy just shifted dramatically.
It did. The agent was completely disarmed. She ended up checking all 7 boxes and told the host, "I was determined you weren't getting them on that plane, but after a few moments of being with you, I would carry them out and put them on the plane myself."
And it's just powerful evidence that when you treat others as co-creators instead of obstacles, they become allies in fulfilling your intention.
It works every time.
Okay, takeaway 6. Practice japa meditation and simplify life. These seem like the foundational practices for mental alignment.
They really are. Japa is the repetition of God's name, or a sacred sound, while you focus on your intention. And meditation in general is essential for aligning with that creative link, for making conscious contact with the source. It cleans the lens through which you see reality.
And simplifying your life, getting rid of unnecessary commitments, purging possessions, saying no more often, that creates the essential quiet space.
Genius thrives in a contemplative environment. Fewer intrusions just mean more space for those high-frequency insights to surface.
Which leads us directly to the final takeaway.
It does.
Takeaway number 7. Become a genius by trusting your insights. Now, this sounds more like a declaration than a practice.
It's both. Genius is not an IQ score, it's a style of consciousness. It's an ability to access high-energy attractor patterns. You have to declare yourself a genius and then operate from that place of belief.
So all those unique, slightly weird insights we get, the sudden inspiration for a new car design, a strange storyline for a book, a business pivot, which we usually squash with doubt.
Those are distributions of God. They are the field of intention communicating directly through your imagination. Squashing them with doubt is denying your connection. The moment you trust that imaginative insight, you are demonstrating to the universe that you are aligned and ready to receive creative power.
So this deep dive has shown that our internal state, our frequency, that's the true mechanism of co-creation.
That's it.
So when we consistently maintain this high frequency, what's the impact beyond just our personal lives? What's the ripple effect on the collective consciousness?
Your presence literally changes the atmosphere around you. You start to instill calmness, positive energy, and a sense of unity in other people simply by existing in that higher state. You convince by your presence, not by your arguments.
And this extends to co-creation. We start to recognize that alone, the ego can do nothing, but together our minds fuse into something whose power is far beyond the power of its separate parts.
We have to see others not as competition, but as collaborators in fulfilling a global intention.
And this has actually been quantified, right? Dr. David Hawkins' research on collective consciousness.
It's fascinating. He calibrated different energetic states and demonstrated that we all kind of float on the collective level of consciousness of mankind.
And his findings give staggering weight to an individual's intentional choices.
They really do. Hawkins' scale identifies these weakening states like shame, which is at level 20, guilt at 30, anger at 150.
And by consciously raising your own frequency to states like courage, which is 200, or acceptance at 350, the positive energy you generate has this massive counterbalancing effect.
A huge effect, specifically by regularly practicing optimism, kindness, and receptivity.
What kind of counterbalance are we talking about?
One person operating at the frequency of integrity and compassion can counterbalance the collective negativity of 90,000 people who are operating at those lower, weakening levels. Your internal work is literally a vital service to humanity.
That is an immense responsibility. And what if that individual reaches the energy of pure unconditional love, which Hawkins calibrates even higher?
If one individual vibrates at the frequency of pure love and reverence for all of life, they are counterbalancing the negativity of 750,000 people. That just demonstrates that the most potent power on this earth is the individual's choice to align with the creative forces of intention.
So a fully aligned person, a connector, who lives by these 7 faces, they don't necessarily look different or richer, but they just seem to be the lucky ones.
They attract what they are. They attract abundance, beauty, kindness. They operate with a sense of awe, patience, knowing, and passion. And passion is key here.
The word itself.
The word enthusiasm, in its original Greek, it literally translates to a God within. They aren't lucky. They are simply aligned with the God within.
This deep dive has really shifted the whole conversation around self-improvement from striving to simply being. We are infinite spiritual beings intended for growth and joy, and the job is just to remove the resistance of the ego.
Embrace your intended potential. You already have everything you need. As the poet Rumi instructs us, you were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly.
And so we have a final challenge for you, our listener, based on everything we've talked about today. For the next 24 hours, commit to living in harmony with just one of the 7 faces of intention.
Just one.
Choose one: creative, kind, loving, beautiful, expanding, abundant, or receptive.
Pick one and hold that frequency in every single thought, every word, and every action for the next day. And then just observe. Observe what kind of energy, what kind of people, and what kind of synchronicity flows back to you.
Do you find yourself feeling lighter? Does your world seem more collaborative? That choice is yours, and that choice is the true power of intention at work.
We hope you're leaving with fresh insights and a spark of inspiration. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and check back for more episodes as we dive into new worlds of thought, one book at a time. Until then, keep your mind set in stone and your curiosity open. This has been a Big L Riz Media podcast, where big ideas meet lasting impressions.